Now, changing the way you eat can take time, but a good way to start is by making fruit and vegetables, beans, grains, and nuts and seeds your top priority anytime you need to make a decision on what to eat. If your goal is to eat healthier, look no further than these foods. All right, so let's talk more about these staples. All foods in the staples category contain lots of fiber. Now, when we hear fiber, maybe you think about your grandma's powdery Metamucil, but it's actually much more than that. We need fiber because it works like a scrubbing brush in our intestines. It grabs a hold of and flushes out all the toxins and junk, keeping our insides nice and squeaky clean. Whole foods that contain fiber, like vegetables, beans, fruit, and grains, are great because they are very filling, yet very low in calories, which means that these foods naturally lead to weight loss. Fibrous foods can get cravings under control, too. I used to have really big cravings, but they pretty much disappeared after I quit trying to go low carb all the time and filled my diet with an abundance of fruit and vegetables, beans, and grains. Fiber is also food for our gut bacteria. Studies are now showing an association between your gut bacteria and arthritis, depression, our moods, our immune system, and any food intolerance we might have, and of course our body fat levels. In addition, fiber also reduces inflammation in the body and lowers the risk of colon cancer. With all of fiber's benefits, unfortunately, most people in the US are not eating enough of it. In fact, we're getting twice the amount of protein we need and only half the amount of fiber we need. We should be aiming for at least 30 grams of fiber a day, when actually, the average American only consumes about 14 grams according to the USDA. To put it differently, 97% of Americans are getting enough protein, but less than 3% are getting enough fiber. I mean, think about it. Most people have a bowl of cereal, egg sandwich for breakfast, turkey sandwich and chips for lunch, maybe some yogurt for an afternoon snack, perhaps some pasta and a green salad for dinner, maybe just something sweet for dessert. I mean, that equals to about 14 grams of fiber when the goal should actually be at least 30. I mean, 30 is the minimum, 40, 50, 60, onwards to 100, even better. And the best way to reach these numbers is by making sure we eat plenty of the staples. When it comes to vegetables and fruit, the goal should be to eat as colorfully as possible. Each color tends to represent certain nutrients, such as antioxidants. Antioxidants are super powerful disease fighters that remove dangerous cells, such as free radicals, from our bodies. And especially with all the pollution in the world, our bodies just can't keep up with making all the antioxidants that we need to stay healthy. So we really need to be getting in a ton of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants from the foods we eat every day. Antioxidants from food can help fight off heart problems, eye problems, memory issues, mood disorders, immune system problems, sunburns, premature aging, skin cancer, just to name a few.
Okay, I'm not saying that I don't, but what if I don't like vegetables? Okay, I hate them.
Well, Bubba J, this is a question I hear now and then, and my top advice is to start by eating vegetables that seem less intimidating. So perhaps start with some orange carrots, red bell pepper, perhaps a nice light romaine salad. Gradually get used to the flavor of vegetables by adding them to pasta dishes with marinara sauce. Add some greens to a smoothie, cover your vegetables in a sweet vinaigrette, dip them in some nice savory hummus, or eat them in soups. Now, your mind is a very powerful tool, so keeping an open mind really helps with this. All right, so let's jump into our next staple. Beans. Beans are in the diets of the healthiest people in the world. In fact, numerous studies are now showing eating one serving of beans per day can offer tremendous health benefits. But actually, one study even shows that eating just about 2 tablespoons of beans per day can reduce your risk of death by 8%. That's like a garnish on a salad. It's hardly anything. So we're talking about black beans, pinto beans, lentils, green peas, soybeans, chickpeas, kidney beans, black-eyed peas, just to name a few. Beans and lentils have tons of protein, but also tons of that fiber. Whereas chicken, even the white meat breast, actually has 0 fiber, but does contain 20% fat and 100 milligrams of cholesterol, things we don't want. Meat or any other animal product for that matter, on their own do not contain any fiber. Unless, of course, you decide to eat the feathers on the chicken too, but I don't recommend it. Beans themselves have protein and fiber but are also naturally fat-free with no cholesterol. Another great thing about beans is that they are very low on the glycemic index. So when they are eaten in combination with blood sugar spiking foods such as white rice, the beans magically lower the overall impact that meal has on our blood sugar levels. We want to avoid major blood sugar spiking foods as much as we can because they lead to increased hunger later in the day as well as weight gain. Okay, so check this out. Researchers have discovered that if you eat beans for lunch, the blood sugar spike of your next meal will then be lower simply because you had beans in the meal prior. This is called the second meal effect. This even happens when you have beans at dinner time. The blood sugar spike from your breakfast the next day will be lower, even if you have pure sugar water for breakfast. Amazing, right? Just because you had beans the time before. So how do we eat more beans? In our home, we usually add beans to roasted vegetable and grain bowls. We also love bean burgers. We'll add them in stir fries in place of meat. We also love soups like pumpkin lentil or white beans mixed in with a vegetable soup. We also love hummus, which is made out of chickpeas. We'll have it on toast or have it in place, we'll put the hummus on our sandwiches in place of butter or mayonnaise. We love Mexican food in our house too, so I'll grab a can of those low-fat refried beans, which are so convenient because all you have to do is open up the can, heat, and serve. So you can add them to vegetable tacos or make some vegetable fajitas with a big side of refried beans and a pile of rice. Or just make a bean burrito, keep it simple. Beans are also super cheap. I mean, we're talking 10 to 40 cents per serving. So if you're using beans in place of animal protein, you will save a ton of money. The average can of beans costs about $1.40, even the organic types, and 1 pound of meat starts around $6.99. Making your own beans is so simple too. All you do is soak them overnight in water, drain and rinse, and then add them to more water, bring it to a boil, let it simmer until they are soft enough that you can smash them with a fork. Our next staples category, grains, breads, and potatoes, carbs. I love carbs, and every time I did a fitness competition or any other type of low-carb diet, I miss them so much. I crave them like crazy. By the way, vegetables and fruit are carbs too, but we're talking more about the stick-to-your-ribs, starchy ones that most people think of when they hear the word carbs. Carbohydrates constantly get a bad rap. People think that carbs make them fat, but actually, carbs are one of the 3 necessary macronutrients along with protein and fat. So in an effort to keep things as simple as possible, I'll just say this. Carbs are our body's main fuel source. Carbs are designed to provide energy. This is the way that nature intended it. So it's no coincidence that carbs make us feel so good. But I'm sure it's no surprise to hear, and most of you already know, that not all carbs are created equal. The starchy carbs that we want are the whole grain foods. We want oatmeal, oat bran, brown and black rice, quinoa, whole grain pasta, whole grain breads, low sugar granola, potatoes of all kinds, including sweet potatoes, whole wheat and corn tortillas, corn itself, popcorn, whole grain cereals, wheat berries, barley, and buckwheat, just to name a few. Now, oh man, speaking of buckwheat, if you haven't had buckwheat pancakes yet, do yourself a huge favor and try them, either in a restaurant or make them yourself. They are fantastic. So hearty and delicious. Now, don't get me wrong, donuts are delicious and quite honestly one of Jeff and my favorite foods. But since they are made of ingredients that make our health worse and not better, we save them for fun, special occasions. And I have to say, since we don't have donuts often, when we do, they taste really, really good. It's like our taste buds just explode because we aren't used to those types of flavors. It makes them even more enjoyable. So instead, we want to stick to the types of carbs that have a lot to offer, like the ones mentioned here. Whole grains that come from the ground and are packed with that fiber we talked about, as well as vitamins, minerals, and cancer-fighting antioxidants. The one white flour exception may be sourdough bread. It offers friendly gut bacteria, which makes it very, very easy to digest. However, I will say this, if you are ever stuck with very limited options where the only tortilla available is a white flour tortilla or the only rice option is white rice, don't stress about it. Pair that white rice with lots of vegetables or have beans with that white tortilla, make it into a burrito. I mean, just look at the people in Japan. They have a ton of white rice, but very low rates of obesity and diabetes. And it is simply because they're always eating that white rice with vegetables. Now, on the subject of wheat and other whole grains, it's said that only 1% of our population cannot tolerate wheat. So if you have a gluten sensitivity of any kind, then of course you want to avoid the foods that contain gluten, like wheat, barley, spelt, and rye. Otherwise, please know that avoiding gluten is not necessarily important for good health or weight loss. Listen to your body and just do what's best for you. Overall, whole grains and potatoes are an excellent source of fiber as well as B vitamins and important minerals such as iron, zinc, and magnesium. They also contain lignans, which are these super antioxidants, and these carbs are actually an excellent source of plant-based protein as well. Now you may be noticing a trend here with the vegetables, fruits, beans, and grains and potatoes. I've used a lot of the same words. Fiber, vitamins, antioxidants, and protein. That's because whole plant-based food, all of them offer vitamins, fiber, antioxidants, and or protein. The goal should be to eat a wide variety of these foods every day so that you cover the spectrum. A nice goal is to aim to eat 20 different foods a day, even if it's just a bite or two of each.